most commonly agreed upon in the zombies community to be the scariest map ever made. I'm here to ask the question, why is it still so scary? With the intro out of the way, let's dive right into the video. Firstly, let's start at the map's atmosphere. Verruckt is set in the insane asylum during 1945 German-occupied Europe. Verruckt is actually German for crazy. It fits the map quite well because Verruckt is actually an insane asylum based on real life. As you play this map, you feel how haunting it is. You can hear the screams and the yells of the patients that would have been here in real life. And it just gives you the spooks. When there's no zombies and the rounds just change, you can hear nothing but the wind going through the dead trees. You have this smoky look at the outside. Everything's dead, grey, dark colours, but it's scary. There's blood smeared everywhere. There's a dentist chair, which if you walk up to it, you can hear the patient still screaming on the chair. But not only are the colours and sounds scary, but what's littered around the map. There are scribbles and symbols written all over the walls. If this was any other zombies map, they would just be there to look creepy. But no, not on Verruckt. There's a sign, when translated from German, says any unattended children will be sold to the circus. On the wall there's a reference to a Bible verse, Jeremiah 9 verse 28. For death has come up into our windows and has entered into our palaces to cut off the children from about and the young men from the streets. And on top of that you have references to cults littered on the wall. And if you go down into the infirmary, you can hear a baby crying. And the insane asylum itself is falling apart. There's wires hanging from the roof. The building is collapsing. There's boards missing. There's floors decaying. There's rubble everywhere. There's chairs and tables flipped upside down. Everything about this place is just haunting. This is a definition of horror. Now that we've talked about the atmosphere, let's talk about the map layout and design of Verruckt. Verruckt is one of, if not the smallest zombies maps there is, with insanely tight corridors, rooms that lead to dead ends, and with stairs littered around the maps for very easy places to get pinned by the zombies. There is realistically only two good survivable locations on the map. On the right of Quick Revive is a barely viable room for training. You have to be a cracked gamer to be able to train here reliably. And the electric trap corner, which honestly is a bit more safe. It's only good for camping though, but if the zombies overrun you, you are basically already dead. Unlike modern zombies maps, there is really no time you can stop paying attention to the game with how difficult and claustrophobic the map is. So with all that being said, at least the zombies can't be too bad, and you, my dear viewer, would be wrong. The zombies in Verruckt hit unimaginably hard, easily double swipe you, which can easily kill you without Juggernaut. And since World of War is so old, the game UI is pretty buggy, so sometimes the zombie will hit you and not let go. They will hug you, almost guaranteeing your death. Once the game already has you on your toes from the terrifying atmosphere and the claustrophobic corridors, you get hit by a Verruckt sprinter. These little bastards run so fast you can barely outrun them, making an already difficult map worse. So from hearing all this, you're probably thinking, that's fine, I'll just sweat up with my mates and tackle Verruckt with them. Well, for the first time ever in Call of Duty Zombies, and only time, there are two spawn rooms. You have the Jug spawn room and Quick Revive spawn room. So your team is split up and won't be reunited until you turn on power, because this door will not open until power is turned on. So if one side gets knocked down, you can't revive them unless you switch on power, which might not be possible in the early rounds because you might not have enough points yet. Not only is the map itself working against you and the zombies, the mechanics of World at War Zombies is. The mechanics of World at War Zombies is very, very bare bones, especially Verruckt. Unlike the modern Call of Duty zombie games, there are no gobblegums.
Perhaps this one is an acquired taste.
No kill streaks. No specialists, no shields. There isn't even a pack-a-punch or monkeys yet. There are no jail get you out of free cards on this map. The only things you have going for you on this map is the electric trap, which is pretty difficult to use. The four original perks being Jug, Speed Cola, Double Tap, Quick Revive. And Quick Revive doesn't even work on solo, so instead of having 4 chances of life, you only have 1, adding even more pressure, meaning one little slip up could ruin your entire run. The best gun on this map is the ray gun, and that drops off around 25, maybe 30 if you're lucky with the max ammos. And on World at War, there's so much splash damage from the ray gun, so it's very easy to kill yourself. And the only other weapon that can be used on high rounds is the flamethrower, which has low damage output but infinite ammo. So Verruckt is one of the hardest maps to play and also to high round. Finally, the story of Verruckt is is based off a real insane asylum called Witten Sanatorium, in which the German doctors and scientists during World War II tortured and experimented on living subjects, being Jews, mentally ill, and sometimes even children. We honestly don't know of everything that happened here during World War II because the documents were destroyed, but we do know they would very often euthanize the inmates if they had any quote-unquote undesirable qualities, whatever that would mean to the Germans during World War II. Yes, they would even do it to children. So that's the real setting. The fictional setting of Verruckt, we almost get as less information as the real events. All we know is Peter McCain was kidnapped by the German Task Force 935. The task force of Tank Dempsey, John Banana, Smokey, and Paxton arrived at the asylum facility to rescue Peter McCain, but little do they know, he had already escaped and they rocked up to Verruckt during a zombie outbreak, and all we know from there is Tank Dempsey and Paxton are the only ones to survive, while Smokey, John Banana died to the hordes of the living dead.
Field report, a quiet retort, the mission has all gone south. It's Johnny here, Smokey is near, most likely with meat in his mouth. Been here for ages, I ran out of pages, but now have a mic to record. The mission has failed. Kane must have failed, and now we must fight off the horde. But now Smokey's lost.
What's wrong with me
We
today?
went down the halls, they bit Smokey's balls, and now he walks with the dead. They call me Banana, I worked at a cabana. I rhyme to keep myself sane. Though Smokey is dead, I'm holding his head, which right now is eating my brain.
So not only in real life is the story of Verruckt vague and not many details are known, the fictional story as well, adding again to the horror of this map. Knowing so little information is so good from a horror perspective, adding in your own speculations and headcanon and not knowing how or when they died. In conclusion, Verruckt is a one-of-a-kind zombies map, and most definitely the scariest zombies map ever made because of an unsettling atmosphere with disturbing messages on the walls, pressing dark colours, haunting sounds and screams, also being an extremely hard map to play itself with janky gameplay, the zombies themselves being very strong compared to the player, claustrophobic corridors, being separated from your friends, and unsettling backstory to this map leads to the most haunting zombies map ever made, and probably will forever be. With that all said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video.